Hello world, and welcome to the next instalment of Pendragon poetry. Today we shall be looking at Euripedes. He was one of the most, prolific and the most amazing of the Greek dramatists, the tragedists. And his story is, he comes from, in the 5th century BC, 100 years after the Greater Dionysia was founded in Athens, which was the festival of the arts, really, basically. He began to become famous for his plays, and what they did, they had this sort of setup where 4 or maybe 3, I can't remember, 3 dramatists all created a body of 4 plays, and they're all performed these 4 plays, and then the winner would be decided. And he kept, adding his own contributions to the competition, and it was only on his death, the year after, that he finally won with a play called the Bacchae. Now, the Bacchae is basically a story about Dionysus, whose return to Thebes, where Pentheus is the king, and he wants to restore himself to the throne, because he's like royal blood kind of thing. So here I'm at the edge of witnessing a mistake, by the way. I'll just show you this really nice old building before it just gets bought out. It's just been bought for like 200 grand apparently. There you go. Anyway, I've been walking through this spot for a long time. So anyway, the actual post, what I'll be talking about today, is not the play so much, it's the chorus, the chori, which were an element of Athenian theatre. You've got it's like the narrators really, and I was reading through Euripedes and I realised just how amazing, how beautiful some of his chorus work was. So I'm just going to read you a few extracts. Far from Asia, land of Asia, far from Tmolus, sacred Tmolus, I have come and I cry, I have come and I praise, I laud the name of Bromius, Dionysus. I praise his name, I laud his name, my task, though a sweet one. The burden is sweet as we praise his holy name, Bacchae, Dionysus. Who yields, lets the soul dance, pure as our dance in the mountains, purified the dancer, the name of Dionysus. Sacred are the rites, secret rites for Sibyl the mother. Break through, yield, break through, yield. Break through with Thyrsus aloft. Serve him, serve Dionysus. Come, backhands, come. Dionysus is your god, God, son of God. Escort him home, home from Phrygia, home to Greece, the broad streets of Greece. Bring him home, your Dionysus. The translation, by the way, was done by a certain gentleman called J. Michael Walton. Obviously, it's not the same as the original Greek. Here's another extract. Quite a lot. Let me come to Aphrodite's isle, to fairest Cyprus, where love's charms are fashioned. There 100-tongued the rivers give richness, to land untouched by rain. Or let me come to Pieria, lovely Pieria, where the muses live, to the slopes of Olympus, the holy Bromius, Dionysus, lead me there, dancing god. There to the home of desire and the graces, lead me where dancing to Bacchae is welcome. Our Lord, the son of Zeus. See, Dionysus was the son of Semele, who had it off with Zeus, therefore he's half a god, Dionysus. He was the god of the wine, massive, had a massive sort of cult. Like the Marcinians were quite into his cult in the 1500 BC. 1,000 years later, in 500 BC, there you go. Everyone's getting pissed on the Dionysian wine and having a big theatrical arts, which is pretty much like the Edinburgh International Fringe Festival these days. Okay. Our Lord, son of Zeus, delights in the feast, one goddess I name, who pleases him more, giver of comfort, giver of joy, allowing young men to relish their youth. The goddess he loves is the goddess of peace. To rich and to poor he brings gifts of enchantment, gifts he bestows through the virtue of wine, but the man who declines by day or by night to live life as pleasure he loathes. Wisdom is keeping apart from the rational, grant me instead what the simple believe. Now, this play would have been performed in the original sort of theatre in the Greater Dionysia, Temple of Dionysus in Athens, and this is where theatre began. These plays under the auspices of Pisistratus in the 6th century BC, he was gathering all the sort of Greek rhapsodes together to sing the Homeric material, and then the theatre grew up from there. It's the heart, it's the soul. 2,500 years ago. Okay, we'll do a couple more, and then I will leave this post. I don't have Daisy with me today. I'm off to East Linton Library to work on my new poems, actually. So she does my head in when I'm getting in that zone, so I've left her behind. So this is a bit of a tame post. But there is something about the Euripedes. The Bacchae play itself is just like cosmic sort of ball of Nexar with lots of stuff going down. It's well worth a watch, stroke, read. But the chorus, he had hit majestic form when he was writing these chori. Okay, last one. I long to dance through the night without sleeping, barefoot, neck stretched up to the dew-dropping air, like a fawn as she plays in the field, fear flown, flight free, escape from the huntsman's snare, where she strained as she strove, as she ran, past meadow, past stream, till she found forest peace, far from man. Where is the beginning of wisdom? What gift of the gods could be finer for man than to raise up his hand o'er the head of his foe, triumphant, nothing finer, delightful. The power of the gods proceeds slowly but surely, chastening the insensitive, those whose mad arrogance trusts only itself. Hidden away lie the traps for the godless. Time passes, slow foot, the gods have good time to await the unwary. We must know and must care for the custom of ages, what's right and what's natural. These the ideals that religion gives sanctions to. Well, there you go. A little bit of Euripedes to start your day. I hope you enjoyed that. If you do, don't forget to donate to my channel, and next time me and Daisy will be back and we'll be talking more about poetry. I'm quite in hushed tones today, so let's leave it. So that's the Whittingham estate there. Okay, ciao for now.